Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Four Brothers Storm Team podcast. Today we'll be discussing what was Tropical Storm Ida, which is now Hurricane Ida, and there is a chance of some pop-up weather discussions not related to Ida. So let's get it started. Today is August 27th. We will be reading from the 2 p.m. update on Hurricane Ida from National Hurricane Center. On the podcast, there will be myself and Director 100 and Austin McDowell, Director 200 of Four Brothers Storm Team. How are we doing this morning, Austin?
Doing pretty good this afternoon, Mr. Dean.
Yeah, well, I guess it is afternoon and not morning, right? I'm located outside of Dayton, and Austin is located outside of Princeton, Kentucky. So we are talking via Discord on this podcast. Like I said, we are both part of Four Brothers Storm Team. Feel free to look us up. We got a little bio there. www.fourbrothersstormteam, all one word, .org. That's fourbrothersstormteam.org. Now let's go ahead with the 2 o'clock update. Currently, it has now been upgraded to a hurricane, so we now have Hurricane Ida. Ida is now at 987 millibars at the low pressure, and the wind speeds is 65 knots, which is equivalent to 75 mile an hour, which puts it as a Category 1 hurricane. It is still moving north-northwest at 13 knots or 15 mile an hour. Now we're going to talk real quick about the hurricane scale. The hurricane scale, the Saffir-Simpson, I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. Saffir, Saffir-Simpson's hurricane scale. Category 1 starts at 74 mile an hour to 95. Category 2 starts at 96 mile an hour, goes to 110. Category 3 is 111 to 129. And Category 3, 4, and 5 is all considered a major hurricane. Category 4, 130 to 156 miles per hour. And Category 5, the most dangerous and deadly hurricane, is wind speeds of 157 per mile an hour and greater. And you'll find that once a lot of these make landfalls, they might make landfall as a strong hurricane Category 3, but once they get down and start doing some site inspections, they might get like a week later get bumped up to a Hurricane 4, a low 4. Austin, would you like to talk about the tracks?
Yeah, the track and trajectory of Hurricane Ida has got it right now predicting landfall at New Orleans Sunday night. Later Sunday night, I think around 6 p.m. And then it's got it going up to about Jackson, Mississippi, up the Mississippi River, and cutting a northeasterly direction up through like Nashville and there. And as long as we don't see a repeat of Hurricane Ike, that would be the great thing. We don't want it turning back into a hurricane
Now,
over the western.
absolutely. Now, with that said, what are some of the similarities? I mean, Hurricane Ike made landfall in Galveston, Texas, over here near Houston, and this is making landfall in New Orleans, which is significantly off to the east. But what other similarities are there between Hurricane Ike and Hurricane Ida?
Hurricane Ike made landfall at 952 millibars, or and they're forecasting to the GFS models having Ida make landfall at 951 millibars. So roughly the same uh, strength. Now the wind speed could be totally different. They are forecasting it to be a major hurricane that's landfall.
Correct. And one of the other things that we've noted is that the track of this storm is going to go over the warmest part, the warmest waters of the Gulf of Mexico towards New Orleans. So the chance of it increasing over that area is really increased, don't you think?
I agree. I definitely agree. The track has got it going with the warmer water.
Absolutely. Which, like right now, and we're still a ways off. We're talking Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. to this making landfall Sunday evening. And if you know anything about weather, you know, give it 4 hours and things can completely change. Uh, and that includes the landfall. Could you explain the cone of landfall and its trajectory?
The cone of uncertainty, which is the cone that they put on the track. That means it could wobble in between those two outside lines. Is a cone of uncertainty.
Absolutely. And as you can see here, where it's showing that 7 p.m., 120 mile an hour, right on the coast of coast of Louisiana, uh, right by New Orleans. Now, come Sunday at 7 p.m., we're still within the cone of uncertainty. This thing may be more closer to Lake Charles, or it may be closer to Mississippi and Alabama, over towards your Mobile, Alabama. So you could see the uncertainty side of it. Right now, it's showing predominantly the spaghetti strings, spaghetti forecast strings, or spaghetti models,
Spaghetti track.
are mainly around the New Orleans area. And what we got showing right now, Austin. Austin can't see my screen. We all know Austin has some vision issues. Anyway, but I'm recording this all on my computer on my side. Right there is right here is the track. Exactly what Austin was saying. And give it a second here, and we're going to pop down to a live view of what's going on with the hurricane, where it is. We could see that it is. Get one more view here. Yeah, it is over the Isle of Youth, is the name of the little town there. And we're going to back out here. Go on. The what we were talking about earlier, what Austin mentioned earlier, is the millibars, and that is uh, pressure. What this is a low pressure, and what I have up here is the GFS, the Global Forecasting System, its model. Gets us situated around here, and I am going to show you what it is forecasting. And you can see down here in the lower corner, that's where the system is right now. This is a little bit before, but you can see right here is the if I can quit hitting that button. I keep wanting to lift my screen up, and it won't let me. But you can see right over here, and there's the Isle of Youth that we was talking about. So we're going to pop up here, and we're going to start slowly moving it. This is hour by hour, and right there it's 991 millibars, and you know now we're already down to 987. So here right there, 987 at 21Z. So that's 5 hours off. That's 9. So at 4 p.m. is when this is looking at, and they have it dead on money right now. Although it is 2.5 or an hour and a half away, but it's there. But we're going to watch it progress. And like I said, this is the warmest waters of the Gulf right now. This line right here that you're watching my cursor go over. Um, we'll watch it. There's 980 now, 977. You can see the ISO bars getting really, really close together. That's strong, strong winds. We'll move on up. There's 968 millibars going up. 55 millibars. This is right off of the coast, and they are talking right now about 7 foot to 11 foot storm surges. So this is a really, really dangerous area to be in. If you are advised to get out of that get out of that area and shelter more inland or at a higher ground, I strongly, strongly suggest you do that. We'll move on up. Here's 951 millibars. That is equivalent to Hurricane Ike. Now, this is forecasted. Ike was reality. Ike, we know what the millibars was when it hit. This is forecasted, so this could be a little higher or even lower when it hits. Ain't that right?
Very correct.
All right, and then we're gonna go on up here a little bit farther. It's making landfall, so it's going to rapidly lose that. So now we're already back up to 958, 964, 969er, 974, and this is where it's going to start going up and making its curve. Uh, there you go. We're 975 going up, 985, and then you can see right here, it's starting. The last couple frames shows it cutting out to the northeast as it goes on up. So back up here. 951. What do you think about the warnings they're putting out now, Austin, about seeking shelter?
I think if you're in the New Orleans area, Lake Charles to Biloxi, Mississippi, you should probably go ahead and leave that area. I mean, they're saying landfall Sunday. That's pretty quick. You ain't got a lot of time to escape.
Not a lot of time at all. Like I said, this is going to come on up the Mississippi Valley, like Austin was saying, up along around the Nashville area. So Memphis is going to get a little of the action. Uh, Stop it here on this track. You can see Jackson, Mississippi, around that area is right now predicted to go right over it. But we're going to get rain all the way up into Illinois, Indiana, and as for Wednesday, 7 a.m. at 25-mile-an-hour wind speeds, it's going to be in the Nashville area. So you can expect some flooding conditions going through there. And I know a lot of people right now don't want to hear about flooding because we just had that big system on the East Coast that went through and flooded a bunch of places, including Tennessee, correct?
Correct. Waverly, Tennessee, which is about an hour northwest of Nashville.
Okay. So if you're in Waverly, Tennessee, or any of the little areas around Nashville and Memphis, might want to be thinking about that, about any type of water protection you can start getting in place. That includes Alabama and Georgia too. Uh, Alabama and Georgia, you're going to be on the wet side of things going all the way up into just a touch right now in South Carolina, but North Carolina, West Virginia, all of that. You guys need to be heads up because this system throughout Thursday and Friday of next week will be heading your direction. Is there anything else about the hurricane you'd like to add?
Oh,
Say it again.
well, we need a hit on satellite.
Oh, there we go. Let's go to satellite view. Stop it. I'm going to kick over to our satellite view. And here we got our satellite view. This is a live view of the hurricane. See it right there?
On the GOES 16 satellite, weather satellite.
That is correct. On the GOES 16 satellite. We're loading up here. Give it a second to load up. It'll start showing the motion. You can see the spiral rotation around it. The north side of a hurricane, the winds go from east to west. The south side goes from west to east, and same with north and south winds. But there is our hurricane live shot. And the other screen I had pulled up was a live shot also, but we're looking at it kind of different things. But we can go over to this, and I can pull up the same view that they was using. Nope, that ain't it. Hold on. Click the wrong one. Go figure. Which level is it again, Austin? Low level water vapor.
No, geocolor.
Yeah, I already had it on geocolor. Let's do the clean IR long wave.
Okay.
There we go. That's what you were seeing on the other one. This is a little cleaner, but you can see right here the eye is forming. It's going in and out right now. This is a baby hurricane, but you can see the eye of the hurricane is going to be right through here. This is off of the southwest tip of the Isle of Youth that Austin told me the name of a little while ago. Had no clue. But you can see the eye wall forming and dissipating, but it's starting to reform right there again. So it will get a solid eye. And probably once it gets between the Isle of Youth and the southwest area of Cuba, it'll probably pick up a more discernible and solid eye wall, don't you think?
Solid eye wall, and you'll start choking up on the steam, start to increase pretty rapidly.
Correct. It will increase. You'll note that the millibars should start dropping. Wind speeds will start increasing. It's getting over some warm, moist water. It'll either stay the same or may lose a little bit once it's over the Cuba area here in the southwest area. But once it gets northwest of this shoreline here, that's when everything is going to start ramping up.
Break loose.
Yeah. All right. I'll let that run a few more times. Let you enjoy that little brief update there. And another tool we have in our tool belt, and you can see it here on your screen. That's the American Storm Trackers site. Bring it up here, and we can bring up and actually view buoys. Let's close this one to it. we can bring these buoys up and see the information on them. Like this one, you can see its winds are out of the east at 22 knots or 41 kilometers per hour. Wind gust at 26 knots. The barometric pressure is at 29.95, but we're talking, and that's inches of mercury. You'll hear us mainly referring to millibars or hectopascals. Uh, Hurricanes mainly go off of millibars, where it's 1,041 millibars at that buoy site. We know that over the Isle of Youth is at 987 millibars. This one shows air temperature of 84 degrees and dew point of 74. There's one of these right through here, Alston, that has a water.
Got a webcam.
It's got what? I'm not talking about the webcam. Talk about the water temperature. I want to get the water temperature there. Yeah, here it is. Okay, and this is right by the that other buoy, and you can see, a lot of the numbers are still the same. Air temperature 86, and the water temperature is 86. So on this back side here, it's going to come into some 86-degree temperatures on water temperatures. Now, if we look, which this is way down here, but we look south of the Isle, that webcam, the webcam's offline. I just clicked the webcam thing. Some of these movies have cameras, so you can physically see them. Okay, the water temperature on this side is 85, temperature 78. So it's a little colder, and the water temperature is about the same on this end. So that,
it could be in some cloud cover too.
correct. And if the camera was going, we'd be able to see that. There might be a little pocket of rain over there. That's a little too far for me to reach on that. Well, no, it ain't. It ain't too hard at all. Yeah, right there. There's a little storm in that area. I went to the GOES satellite. Right in that area is cloud cover. A little storm in that area popping up, flowing into the hurricane. It's ingesting the moisture out of that. So that's why it's a little colder. All right. Well, what else would you like to add in here, Alston?
Or do you want to go ahead and start talking about the other weather news that we have?
Other weather? You mean there's a chance of pop-up weather discussions?
That is correct.
Absolutely. All right. Give me just a second to get my my stuff switched back around here a little bit. I'm going to go off the hurricane site. There we go, right there. What Austin's talking about is National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. We have up right there on the screen, and you can see that green, this real light green, that's just a chance of thunderstorms. Pop up thunderstorms. Nothing too big, nothing to worry about. You could see a little gusty wind or something. Then you get this darker green, which is marginal. That's saying you could start seeing some lightning, some possibly some very small hail, and which you can see up here. I'm pointing at the areas that I'm look back over here. There you go. Areas that I'm talking about.
I mean, there's also a chance that in the March be a tornado.
Correct. Correct. Each category, I mean, you can have a quick little spin up EF0 in the slight risk. It just depends how things happen. But the higher the risk, the more likely a chance of a tornado, and more likely of them being a little stronger. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
All right, you can see up here by the Dakotas, there's a slight risk over here by northern Iowa. Into
where all these places have been getting hammered.
Yes,
today.
Especially the northern Iowa up in there. They was in an enhanced yesterday, correct?
I believe so.
And then going over into Wisconsin, and once it gets over the waters of Lake Michigan, I'm curious on what that means for Manistee, Sault Ste. Marie, Traverse City, Mackinac City, up in that area when it crosses over. And then over here towards the Virginia, over in that area, New York, or not New York, but Pennsylvania, you can see there's an enhanced risk there, or a slight risk there as well. And you mostly see that they look like little fried eggs in a skillet. But I'm going to pop onto the 2-day convective outlook, and you can see again up here north of Iowa, well, part of Iowa, going, there's a huge slight risk, and then there's an enhanced risk there. And again, this is the same area. If you remember the last screen, this was a slight risk. So they're getting storms, and we'll be discussing that on our weather channel on our that we have through Zello, our team, the Four Brothers Storm team. We have a Zello channel to give alerts. Also, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, we give all the weather alerts there. Tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, our wonderful Director 100 give those, and so did Director 400 Brandon.
All right. Yeah, we try to announce them as much as we can. We don't announce. If you want to look us up, what is the channel name, Austin?
Sure. I can't look.
Oh, yeah. Well, talk about your eyes for a second while I look it up. Let them know why.
Why I cannot see my phone and other stuff is due to, since I was the age of 13, I've had severe glaucoma. And in 2019, I lost my left eye due to glaucoma. Nothing they can do to save it. And then this year, I've had 3 surgeries. 2 of them pretty invasive, 1 of them non-invasive. The first one in January was a tube shot. I put a 3.5 millimeter tube in the top of my eyeball to relieve pressure. And then that ended up forming a cataract. So in May, I had cataract surgery. And then 2 weeks ago, I had laser surgery where they burned off the scar over my eye. And I'm still recovering from that.
So when there's stuff going on like that, it's a team effort. A lot of us, or the 4 brothers, we know our weather. We know Noah weather. We know our weather. We know what's going on. But if we have any questions, we can ask Alston, and he's pretty good about knowing the little fine details that we may have forgotten. And if you know me, forgetfulness is pretty hand on hand with me. But we help him with his vision on seeing where and what the storm is doing to help him on his side of things. He does weather alerts for his community. I do weather alerts and stuff for my community on both Facebook, Twitter, and stuff like that. He does the same, so we help each other out in that aspect. But what I have pulled up right now, Austin, I have Pivotal Weather pulled up, nationwide view, get it lined up here, and we can see the low pressures and the high pressures, and you can see, down in the southwest tip of Kentucky, is a little bit of cloudiness. Looks like it could be popping up. And these are forecasted models. This is not what's happening. This is what is predicted to happen. How do they come along with that prediction, Austin?
All mathematical equations, analog from past storms, a whole lot of stuff that I don't like to get into, and it takes forever to talk about.
Absolutely. And they just go back, what, 50 plus years of looking at storm systems that move through in that direction, and they figure out all, and this is the mathematical equations on what the pressures are, the wind speeds, the rains, and they have an idea, a model of what could happen based on those numbers. So this is our model we're looking at right now. We're going to put it into play. I'm going to get it slowed down. I'm going to let it run here. And you can see how the system's moving. You can see the isobars, the low pressure, the high pressure. You can see up here, it's still going. There they get some. And we're in Sunday and Monday. They finally get a break up there. But here you can see the Ida coming through and what she's showing and what this particular model is predicting. And this is the GFS, the Global Forecast System. There you see. It goes out to a storm, goes through West Virginia, a little bit of like Boston area, Pennsylvania, moves off.
And each model is totally different.
Correct. And I want to try to pull up another model. Oh, well, I can pull up any model on this. Never mind. My issue with the models is, like, you could see the date and stuff here. We're going from today all the way until Sunday at 7 p.m. So that's how far this model will show you. Or no, hold on. This is going to Sunday 06 a.m. So 1 a.m. Sunday morning. If I go over to one that we really like to use, the HRRR, we can see that one, let it load up. That one's not wanting to load at all, so it's not telling us much of anything. Let's click down to the NAM 3 kilometer. There you go. That one is going to show us until Monday morning, which is actually Sunday night at 0, which you'll put at Eastern time at 7 p.m. So you can see each one of them will show a little different on their forecasting. Each one of these are a different site. Your NAM, your HRRR, your GFS, all of that. They're all different models. And you look at all the models, you get them, you compare them, and figure out what's more feasible for your area. But you can see here, it's starting to track Ida in down here. You can see some storms going to start firing off towards middle Alabama right as it starts making form or making landfalls. Here again, Sunday around Saturday night, Sunday around midnight, you could start seeing some more lines of storms moving through Iowa and north into Wisconsin, and then down Oklahoma, up around Kansas. And I just drew a blank. What state is above Kansas? Nebraska? Austin? Austin? And we may have lost Austin for a minute. We'll give him a second to see if he comes back. But you can see there another line coming out in the direction it's moving. So I'm going to loop this and let you see what we're predicting, or what the models are predicting between now and late Sunday night into Monday morning. And this is things we watch out for as a storm team. We try to identify hot spots where storms may surface and become severe, and we already have our radar trained in that area to be watching it and try to give out some weather updates to help anybody that's in the area. We also supply radar information for any uh, storm chasers nationwide. If you're out in the panhandle of Oklahoma and you're chasing a storm, if you contact us on Zello, we will give you radar support. We'll assign a radar technician to you and give you communications on what's going on, which way the storm's going, if there's any rotation, where, all of that good stuff. You back yet, Austin?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Good deal. I was talking the whole time. I was telling you it was Nebraska.
And that's what I thought. Never heard anything. That's why I kept trying to fill in the space. All right. That's going to bring us to a conclusion on our first ever episode of the Four Brothers Storm Team podcast. As this continues, we're going to fine tune and hone our stuff to make it more pleasurable. We'll add in some more graphics as I figure out more things. And you got to remember, our podcasts are remote. So I'm in Southwest Ohio. He's in Southwest Kentucky. The other two members are in Northwest Ohio. And then if we have any guests, wherever they may be, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, who knows. But we're going to try to continue to make this better, keep it short and sweet, and give you as much education as we can. Again, we are not meteorologists. We don't claim to be. We do know we have had training and taken classes, so we do understand more than the average Joe. But we always fall back with follow what the meteorologists say. They are the professionals. They are the ones that went to college to become meteorologists. They know by far more than we do. What we're doing is giving you our honest opinion on what we see and what we think. Meteorologist has a lot more tools than we do, a lot more education than we do on weather and stuff like that. So if your local meteorologist down in Louisiana is asking you to evacuate the area, pull up your bootstrings and get going. So with that said, I'd like to sign off with, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Do not forget to like and subscribe and share if you want. Every like and comment we get helps our channel and helps us grow to make it more what you want to see. So leave us a comment on what you think. Don't be rude about anything, but hey, constructive criticism makes things better. So we're all open for ideas on how to make this better. Go ahead, Austin.
And liking the videos also makes more people see the videos.
Correct.
The more likes we got, the more people will see it.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, have a good day. Director 100, I'm signing out.
Director 200, clear.